Yeah, this episode's not going to suck like the last 100 or so. This one's going to rock with the nice guys on business.
You're going to find a lot of these very successful folks that are out there that have figured out their gist and they're doing what they do really, really well. And the key is, look, you guys do one thing really, really well on Nice Guys, and that's just complete total fuckery. So, and people love that.
Reach in there and grab my wallet. It's the one with bad motherfucker on one side and the nice guys on business on the other. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Welcome back, Funkin' fans. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the mic, Mr. Doug Sandler. And we have, is this like Lou's third or fifth or 27th time on the show or something?
Well, if it's not, he would like it to be. Lou is a great guy. He's got a great show called Thrive Loud. And we have such a personal connection with Lou that I just thought it would be a good idea to have him back on the show because he's one of those dynamic personalities that you could just never run out of things to say with. So yes, he is back on the show, but exciting episode, and I'm looking forward to rehearing the interview again with Lou.
No, it's true. And, total transparency, Lou's Thrive Loud podcast is, we do produce that with the our Turnkey podcast. And but it's a great show. It's a really great show. It's very interesting and entertaining.
As I've spent probably every day at least exchanging one or two text messages, and I think you talk to him a lot more than I text him, but you guys have conversations together. We're 460 episodes in, and he's about 20 into his ride right now. Right. So he's very eager to try to grow his audience. So I keep saying, go on as many podcasts as you possibly can, talk to as many people in the podcasting space as you possibly can. But I keep forgetting, at 20 interviews, we sucked, and he's really good.
No, he's really good. He was really good from the start.
He's got a really good show.
So I want to talk about our fidget spinners because we're giving them away to Patreon patrons. If you are a Patreon patron and you want a fidget spinner, just reach out to us, like email us or reach out on Patreon or whatever. Send us your address and we'll send you a fidget spinner because they are so freaking cool, which means I need to talk about unfolding.biz, which has made our fidget spinners. These are super high quality 2-minute fidget spinners. And like the printing is crisp and clear and doesn't wipe off. And these are just the coolest things ever. And they do all kinds of other stuff at unfolding.biz too. They can make any kind of promotional product that you need for your company.
I'm looking literally at their website right now, and there's about, I would say 25 categories, and each category is broken down into subcategories, like another so 5 or 10. Stuff. It's thousands and thousands of products. Anything that you can imagine your name on or your logo on, they can do. The cool stuff, the new stuff, even some of the old school stuff like shirts and hats and calendars, they can do that stuff as well. But the Nice Guys spinner, we actually got the placement on their homepage as seen on, quote unquote, as seen on the Nice Guys on Business podcast. It's our fidget spinner. Oh gosh, I love this thing. The 2-minute spinner. So not only can you get great products from them, but they're also going to give you a discount if you just mention the fun guys. If you mention the Nice Guys, after you place your order, just go to unfolding.biz to place your order if you want to do it online. Enter in the promo code 2, the number 2, Nice Guys, all capital, and you will receive a 15% discount. Or if you want to, you can call Glenn directly at 877-286-3653. We'll make sure we put his phone number and information in the show notes so that you can get your 15% discount off of all the promotional products that you want to order. I hope.
Do you know what that number spells?
Oh, what does it spell?
To unfold.
No.
How cool is that, right? Unfolding.biz. 1-800, or is it 800 or 888? I don't know.
It's 877.
877 to unfold. And you can talk to Glenn and mention the Nice Guys to get your 15% discount if you prefer to go by the phone. Because if I look at that website, I'm like, dude, there's so many cool choices. I don't even know what to choose. I might need some help from Glenn.
Yeah, call Glenn. He seems like a nice guy. I mean, anybody that would advertise with us has got to be a nice guy.
Of course.
All right, let's put a wrap on this, but 15% discount to Nice Guys.
That's your promo code that you use at unfolding.biz. Thank you very much. We need more cool promotional stuff.
No, Strick, I think you could have just stopped with "we need more cool."
We need that too. We desperately need that. But we could get some of that from Lou Diamond. I mean, Lou Diamond has plenty of cool to go around. That's for sure.
Okay, so we're going to get to the interview with Lou Diamond. So can we just hit it right now? Because I think we got a lot of banter back and forth, Lou and I.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Let's just get to the interview. Go ahead with this. This is once again Mr. Lou Diamond.
The question was what? What was your question? Sorry.
No, the question was, today's the day that the eclipse is. What do they call it? Is some parts of the country will have full totality or whatever it is.
I was. It sounds so final. I was watching I saw the map, and they have like a swath from Oregon down to South Carolina, and I keep thinking, we experience a solar eclipse every day. Isn't it called night? Isn't that what we don't we have? I guess it's not really the same thing because we turn our back on the sun. Now the moon is turning its back on the sun. Is that what happens?
I think your 8th grade earth science teacher just rolled over in her grave.
So the idea behind it is the moon gets in between the earth and the sun, and that's what causes the eclipse, correct?
Yes, I think, and I am no scientist, but I think the uniqueness of this one is that it's going in the direct path of the sun, and it happens to be going over the United States. So I think it does happen often in other parts of the world, or it syncs up at different times. But I think it's been like 98 years or something crazy like that.
I think 98 years since it's actually traveled the entire path of the United States. So the path. I'm telling that's right. I'm telling you. I read a little bit about it this morning because I was thinking I can't miss this because my kids are going to probably bust my ass if I just I just say, well, I worked through it. They'll be like, you worked through everything, Dad. You worked through our sports things, events. You worked through our recitals. Now you've worked your way through the solar eclipse. You can't do that.
No, you can't. So, Doug, here's the funny part. My family and I are actually heading to the Jersey Shore for the next couple of days. And my wife is so concerned about looking up at the sun during this time because I guess if you don't have these 3D glasses like things or whatever they are that you're supposed to put over your eyes, you could really hurt your eyes, which is true.
Right.
For anyone who knows this.
Is your wife the kind of person that likes to do what you tell her not to do? So if you say don't look at the sun, the first thing that she wants to do is look at the sun.
No. This is more of the kids fall into that category. So I'm like, so I just said I've got a great idea. Why don't we just take a nap from 1 to 3? Everyone else will be anyway. It's going to be dark out, so I'm looking forward to it. I think
that's a good plan. Hey, so how old are your kids, Lou?
The ones I know about are 17 and 15.
So, Nice Guy Community, this is Lou Diamond. Lou Diamond is an obvious fan and friend of the Nice Guy Community. He has his very own podcast, which the Nice Guys produce, called Thrive Loud. And he's not only been a friend, admittedly so, of the Nice Guy Community, but he has been just a nice guy. He's a good guy. I met him through the C-Suite Network. It seems like I think it was a year ago now, almost, wasn't it, Lou?
It feels a lot longer than that. It's like the dog years equivalent. Like one day with Doug is really a week. So it's actually been 20 years since we've known each other. No, that's actually correct.
I feel the same. And as we are speaking, Strickland is actually right now. He is in Las Vegas. He decided he was going to go to Vegas a few days before our what do you call it? Our migration. There we go. Our migration to Podcast Movement in Anaheim, which is coming up Tuesday through Friday this week. I'm so excited to be a part of that. Have you ever gone to anything like that?
I have not been to this particular movement. There's a lot of movements I do. I guess there's a couple I do every morning. But no,
a couple? That's pretty good. If you can do a couple every morning, Lou. That's when you start getting into your 30s, like we're in, Lou.
Oh, of course. No, I've been to lots of conferences, obviously, because the line of work that we do, we try to meet up and speak at these conferences as well. And but this type of activity, it's actually really exciting because that was one that the schedule did not coordinate with me, but it did sound like fun. And I'm actually very curious to see what happens with this because the Nice Guys and Turnkey Podcast, you guys have been so busy. you're just going to keep getting busier and busier. You're just not going to have enough time for the little people anymore, I think. In a couple
we would totally always want to have time for the little people, Lou. You will always be included in the little people. We always want to have time for you.
So I'm excited to be back on the show. The caffeine is starting to kick in, by the way.
I'm with you.
The speed there. Funkin' fans are all here. Yeah.
I have to tell you, Lou, that this is the first time, and hats off to you for having me do this. This is the first time I actually had to set my alarm to get up to do a podcast. We are recording this. I know it might sound weird, but we're recording this at 8:00 in the morning, and I know that why should I have to set my alarm to be up at 8:00? Well, you can't just wake up and do your podcast. You kind of have to ramp up into it. So I have to read my comic books. I have to do all the things that I need to do in order to try to get my brain really where I need it to be, which is complete idiot.
Well, I think there's also it's a very good point. Everybody has their own day. They have the sweet spot of their day. Actually done this with a bunch of clients. There are morning people. There are, people who can do late night, literally burn the candle and stay up till 2 a.m. and sometimes are most productive. And I would imagine you, with a life of DJing for as long as you did it, you definitely have the clock set on the later skew of the day because you have to almost be at peak energy, right? That's still a fact.
It used to be that way, but now what happens now is I tend to find I get up around 7:15, somewhere in there, maybe 7:30. My wife gets up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock every day. She used to get up at 5. Thank God she doesn't do that anymore. But she gets up around 5:30, 6 o'clock, let's say. I usually stay in bed a little bit longer. I like to listen to the previous days or this day's, depending on if I'm behind or not, episode of our Nice Guys podcast to see how much of a shit show we actually did create and Strickland actually edited. So I usually linger, and then I go downstairs, grab my coffee, come upstairs, do 10 minutes of meditation before I get busy with my day. And so by the time I actually hit my office, it's usually, let's say, about 8 o'clock. But I don't want to talk to anybody until about 10:30 or 11. If I can avoid taking any calls before 10 o'clock, that would be great. But when you told me that you're available, but only for a very small window of time this morning, I said, shit, okay, well, it is Lou, and I don't actually have to be completely coherent in order to have a conversation with Lou.
Well, I also think it's good. First of all, the fact that you're making the time to have us chat here, because it's exciting times for us, right? I think one of the things I want to know all the shit. What are we talking about?
I want to know all the shit that's been going on with you, and there's so much stuff that's been going on with now. You're on episode 19 or 20. What are you on now?
Well, so literally at the airing at the recording of this, it's actually a big week, Doug. We've gone from one show a week to now almost 2 shows a week.
What do you mean almost? Wait a minute. It's like being a little pregnant, Lou. What do you mean almost?
I'll explain. So I think the right way to think of it is that the next 2 months will go with 6 episodes a month as opposed to 4. So there'll be 2 weeks where there will be 2 episodes, and then we will flow that more naturally into 2 episodes a week. So it's kind of cool. Lou, that's how busy we've been.
And you figure first. But Lou, you figure for a guy that's as professional at podcasting, why does your connection always fucking suck when you have to to connect with me?
I apologize.
Yes, it's horrible. I'm like listening to you 5 seconds beforehand, and what do you?
It sounds wonderful. Where are you running? My end.
What kind of fakakta location are you recording from?
Hold on, let me go talk. Let me talk to the hamster. Hey, look, you got to spin faster. You got to. Go a little quicker, hamster. Okay, no, it's just a regular. You sound perfect to me, by the way. There's no interference.
All right, well,
on my
that's because because it's me.
Oh, now of course there is. Now I got the little delay and the little bzz, bzz, which no one will hear because we're just talking right now.
I know. I just don't like have to put up with that shit because it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and I don't want to have to deal with anything other than just
you really are cranky in the morning.
All right, whatever. Just talk, bitch.
Okay, we'll use pauses more effectively. So a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things going on. Let's see. So the podcast is going to many more shows a week. I literally, it got to the point, Doug, and I'm sure this happened to you and Strickland, where I had so many interviews in the queue that it outweighed the ones that were actually already active. Like you said, we're at 20 right now. At the airing of this, there's like 40 in the queue. I'm like, I'm being mean to people who now need to like go on the show, and some great guests are coming up. So that's exciting.
Hold on a second. Wait. Hey, so hold on. Yeah. Wait, hold on one quick second. You actually have 40 in the queue, or you have like 20 more still in adding to the... If you have 40 in the queue, that means you have almost a year worth of... You can't tell somebody your interview is going to be airing in next June. What are you going to tell them?
Well, that's... I think it's actually there were 30 in the queue, and now it's down to like 20 something, 26 or something like that. And yeah, no, that's exactly the reason. I said, oh my God, I can't have somebody interview and say, okay, you won't be on until February. So we moved it into this 2 shows a week, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of other fun guests coming up over the next few weeks, which is exciting. And that part is great. The part of my regular everyday business is also getting busy, and that's I basically like to divide between keynote speaking and coaching and consulting. And obviously Thrive Loud is a great forum because I'm working with all these amazing people. So helping people really become more amazing and thrive in their lives, just like what the show is all about. So I've been growing a bunch of the customers I've been working with and some more speaking gigs, which is exciting. And we keep getting more. We keep getting more subscribers. I don't even know if I could hear you anymore.
Isn't that weird how that happens? Yeah, the more you do, the more people that you get as subscribers. But it's a testament to the great interviews that you've had. I mean, you had Jackie the Joke Man Martling on there. You had your web developer people on the show. You've had some social media people, marketing people. What's so great about your show is that you connect to a certain degree with everybody that comes on. So it's like you do have a personal connection, it seems like, with everybody that's on your show. And even there are ones that I've had that I've never met. You had also had Dan Waldschmidt on the show, and he came on our episode. Doug, I can't even begin to tell you. It's really funny. We actually talk about you in the actual interview because you had said, hey, you got to go talk to this guy. And the only time I had the chance to speak with him was during the interview. And after the interview, we were both on the same page on so many different things that we've brainstormed and actually are helping one another in different types of work ways. Not only for promotion, but also there was a client of mine that could benefit from some of the stuff that he was doing, and vice versa. So, look, and I've been saying this to everybody. I am absolutely floored at how successful the show has been, because it's taking off, and so many other guests. And there's a lot of popular people that are coming to the show. These are people that I know a little bit of, but we've got like famous athletes and authors and movie stars and stuff like that, which I'm like, how am I talking to these people? Why do they want to talk to me? You had the guy that did the screenplay for the Planet of the Apes on your show. I mean, that was I forget what's his name, Mark Bombeck, right?
Yeah.
One of the most cool guy, just like chill guys though too. I mean, he seemed like a real guy. He seemed like a guy that you literally could meet in the supermarket or at a coffee shop and just run into him, have a conversation, and you would have no idea what he does for a living.
And it's really funny. I actually think that's how I asked him to be on the show. I think I was like wheeling a cart down, to Chico's here in our local supermarket in town. Now, he's great. And wait, there's lots of people that ever since we aired Thrive Loud, since it kicked off, it's unbelievable the leaders who are recognizing what a great forum podcasting is. And I've introduced a lot of them to your show because you guys are on every day. Just as a rewind, you were talking about waking up in the morning and that you have a usual routine of listening to the show that you have. And I do the same. I actually, not only listening to my show, I listen to yours as well. My favorite thing about you guys is you guys sometimes binge record, if such a thing is what you want to call it. Like knew that, like, right. I guess you knew that people were away, so you had to plan it out. And I love when you've done one over the other and you have no idea what day it is. It's my favorite part of the show. If I'm pulling the curtain to let the wizard see what's going on, it is one of my favorite features of the show. And I'm like, I go, they have no idea that they're actually on a Thursday episode, not a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So.
Well, we did every once in a while. Well, one of the weeks that we actually recorded. So the Monday, Wednesday, Friday are our interview shows. The Tuesday, Thursday, me and Strick just shooting the shit. But the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Strick told me the wrong. He said, like, this is what's going to be on Monday, this is what's Wednesday, and this is what's Friday. We completely completely messed it up. So he had to go back and just I think he went back and apologized, or we had to cut out parts where we mentioned the day. But we mentioned it too many times on one of the Friday episodes, so he's like, fuck it, we're just going to let this roll. And that's probably what you're referring to. But yeah, we oftentimes, we don't know. We do batch record on Sundays or Friday nights or Sundays. We usually do our episodes for the upcoming week. Now, we've already pre-recorded the interviews, but we haven't done any of the intros, and we haven't done our Tuesday or Thursday show. So oftentimes we will do our Tuesday, depending on how we hit our again, talk about total behind the scenes, behind the curtain. Depending on how we start the phone call or start the Skype call or Zencastr call, will completely determine if we're doing our Tuesday, Thursday shoot the shit. Because if we start on the ground running, I mean, we totally full tilt and we just like, oh my God, we got to hit the record button because this is gold. We just start our Tuesday, Thursday recording. We don't even know where we're going to start and stop the recording. Mm-hmm. But the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, oh shit, forget it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
It's just we.
It's awesome. What I want to say is that and as a fan and as also, you know, I always tell this to Strickland, you know, imitation is the highest form of flattery. And I've changed a lot of the way I do the intro to Thrive Loud because I've seen what works and what doesn't work. And it's really interesting. I had an intern this past summer who was spectacular. You've heard her on a couple of the episodes, Anna. And Anna went in there. And
you have an Anna, and we have an Anna who started off as we have an Anna that started off as an Anna that started off she started off as an intern for us, but then we loved her so much that we put her on payroll.
Yeah, she's a show producer, and kudos to you guys because you guys are just getting so busy. So what's great though, she did a montage. She actually went in and took like little sound clips from the first 15 or 16 shows, and incorporated them in as a fun little opening. Interestingly, I think we got you in there. We got a whole bunch. We did we took some sound bits from the Podcasters Forum, which I know we have something else coming up in a few weeks. I think we'll record, or months, whenever this airs.
We haven't gotten the date exactly scheduled with that. We're gonna have to figure out when the date. It's probably going to be in October now. It's so stupid. We can't put 4 people's schedules together long enough to have a 60 or 90 minute time slot over the next 2 months. That's ridiculous.
And that's actually a great little segue. You were asking earlier about how busy things have become. So obviously, look, Thrive Loud's been busy, and Thrive Loud all kicked off from a lot of the promotion I did from my book, Master the Art of Connecting. And I've been doing a lot of speaking about Master the Art of Connecting, and there have been I've got a whole new calendar set up for all the different speaking opportunities for a lot of different companies where I'm going out and getting this message across. And it's between the podcast show, the work that I do, and obviously speaking in front of people. What someone made a great point to me is, I'm speaking everywhere. I'm touching all these different points and people are hearing me every day. And I said, that is the power of what this podcast forum does. It really enables you to increase who you're connecting to. And I love that because that's what I'm all about, is connecting to as many people. And I love chatting about it with you because for the Thrive Loud listeners and those nice guys listeners who are obviously Funkin' fans just going, what's up with Lou here? Doug actually is really sharp in understanding how to really maximize each type of show opportunity, getting people to help out, getting to promote. I mean, you guys are the #1 business category show on Overcast. And you're also like one of the most highly recommended shows, and that comes from the constant effort. All the joking about, making sure you click the gold star and the stuff that you guys say in the beginning of the show, people are doing, and people are sharing and listening. And that means more and more subscribers are getting out there. So from a promotional marketing point of view, you're kicking it, bud. You're doing a good job.
We love it. We love it. And I can't believe, very, very similar to what you're saying, I can't believe, when we started this thing 2.5 years ago, or almost 3 years ago now, I can't believe the impact that we have actually had on our own business. Because you figure, okay, you put together the shit show. I mean, and literally we do put together a shit show. It's 450 episodes of nothing but shit show. And Strickland Rick and I, we laugh about it, but it truly is a comedy of errors and trying to figure out. And that's partly what scares me about going to Podcast Movement is we're actually going to discover how often and how many things we're actually doing wrong with the show. Like I talked to this guy. He says, "Yeah, I've had my show for about 2.5 years now, and I'm doing some work with Entrepreneur Magazine, and they brought us in to kind of put together a network for them. And yeah, we're kind of doing well. We've done about 2.5 million in revenue and 4 million downloads." So I'm like, dude, fuck you, okay? Because I'm like, do you know how many podcasts would kill to have even 500,000, 100,000 downloads, and I thought, hey, we're chugging along really well, almost whatever. The numbers are not important, but this guy, he's just like, dude, you're just
wait, but here's let's flip the other side of this, and this is actually a great point for a business conversation, because I think you guys are in the business category, although no one would ever know. And what is really important is that I think the average number of episodes that podcast shows actually get to before either they turn it off or you just, that have ever gone through the iTunes network was 7 episodes. Something so low. Yes. There's people who did 1 episode, tried it, said no thank you. You got a lot of those 1s and 2s, and then they just, ran out of gas. Or some people got to maybe 10 and said, this isn't working. I don't have the time to do it. Or maybe they didn't actually hire the right firms to help produce it or get the marketing engine behind it. And this is so important. Whatever initiative you set out to do, if it's a marketing initiative, it's getting your business, it's not just the idea, it's the follow through, right? You have to keep your eye on the ball and you have to follow through with everything you do. And that follow through comes through the constant promotion of it. A great website location, using social media to push it out. Using other podcast shows to promote your own podcast. You're tapping into other listeners in the same forum. Think about how, people try certain marketing campaigns and they fail, or they try to promote certain businesses and they don't actually get to what they do. This is not just because the idea was bad. You need execution, and you really have to follow through with it. And that's what it is. You're going to see, I'm sure when you go to this, the airing of this, you would have already seen and probably talked about on many other episodes, the podcast movement. You're going to find a lot of these very successful folks that are out there that have figured out their gist, and they're doing what they do really, really well. And the key is, look, you guys do one thing really, really well on Nice Guys, and that's just complete total fuckery. So, and people love that.
Yeah, we've had people actually come back to the show because they said, "Listen, I've listened to a whole bunch of other business shows, and there's a little bit too much business that goes on in these
exactly.
business shows."
I'm sorry to the listeners for getting off track here. My goodness.
So Lou, take a look behind the scenes or help everybody take a look behind the scenes. So, what is a guy that is a business consultant, podcaster, professional speaker? What do you do for fun? What do you like? You said you're going to the beach. So you're just a normal guy, right?
Well, normal has never been in the vocabulary of describing Lou Diamond. Let's see. So here we're at the end of the summer at the airing of this, and my kids are going to be a sophomore and senior in high school. We're literally as normal as can be. We're looking at colleges for my oldest, who a year from now will be taking to college, which is kind of surreal. And obviously I know. So we're going. I've got some family they rented some beach houses down on the Jersey Shore, so we're actually going to go there. I live in the New York area. I love my family, love doing fun things, I hate saying this. I like being as normal as possible because I usually am not normal. However, I think the thing that excites me and about just everything I love to do is trying to figure out what is next. I know that sounds really weird, but one of the things that I always talk to my clients about, aside from, believe it or not, a lot of get good sleep, eat well. You'd be surprised at how many people don't do all these things in their businesses. And this will actually help them close and grow their business. But the thing that I'm always thinking about is what's the next big idea? And it's fun because in the spirit of normalcy, my lovely wife, who actually helps me run my company, she's an operational genius, if you ask me, and she's always the best sanity check. She'll tell me the stuff that seems yeah, that's not going to work. She's like my great, no. I hear you're dreaming pie in the sky.
What did she say when you said you're going to start a podcast? Was she all for it, or was she hesitant?
She said the exact same thing that Strickland did when you said, hey, we should do this thing called a podcast. She's like, what is a podcast?
That's so true.
And that's true. And then she started, she loves listening, and she's been a phenomenal kind of consultant, if you would, telling me what I do well and what works and what doesn't. She got a great point. Like I used to read the bios of everybody that came on the show. And it took up a good 2-3 minutes, and no matter how quickly I read.
Yeah.
I needed to do the speed read. I needed to do what Strickland does when he goes through it, which I should totally do once. I'm like, we could read somebody's bio in the speed read would be hysterical. Some people need that.
Or you know what? You send it to Strickland, let him do it, and then just drop the speed read in.
So spinning back to what Lou Diamond is behind the scenes, I worked on Wall Street for a very long time, and I worked in very hard, very long hours. And the truth was, as I mentioned, my now high school, almost college age kids, I didn't see a lot of them, and I hated that. And I wanted to make sure that I was doing what I loved every single day. And, working with the most amazing people, connecting them, using the podcast forum, meeting unbelievable people. I'll even throw you in that loop, Doug, unbelievable people that I associate with. I think we've joked about this, whether from C-Suite or NSA. There was a great quote from Seth Godin. People like us do things like this. And what he's referring to is those that are trying to help me make people's lives better and really enrich them, whether it's by entertainment, by communication, by connecting people, by giving a message, and speaking. All of these things, that's what people like us do, the things like this. And that's the thing that I'm always thinking about every day. That's what I try to strive for, and really just, put a smile on my face and everybody else's while we do that. And whether that's in the morning movement or through a podcast movement, whatever it might be, I'm all about it.
Hey, so Lou, I don't mean to put you on the spot here. I didn't prepare you for any of this conversation.
No, never.
Which is apparent through our rambling here. Give me some highlights, some of the characters from our show that you seem to align yourself with most. You know a lot of the players in the game. You listen to the show. Anybody stand out in your mind as, hey, I really want to get to know that guy or see what that guy is all about, or that girl?
Yeah, so, I definitely, first of all, I'm going to say this right now, and I know this will get retweeted about 1,000 times. I got to take Mar out for a drink, because she is, I have somebody who I like to call my digital diva. That's Meg McAllister, who helps with all of my social media promotion. And she's obviously overlapped and helped promote a lot of the stuff of your shows as well. But Mar is is just right behind there. Mar is always retweeting, sending stuff out. She's excellent. So no, she's a fun one. That's Sean Carpenter, dude. I now understand why he's on the show. Sean is obviously not only a big fan. I can see what his message is when he delivers to his, real estate speaking gigs or going out. I totally get this type of guy.
Well, wait, were you? Yeah. I can't remember. Were you a part? I think this might have predated you in the Funkin' Fannery. You weren't a part of our mastermind group, were you?
I was not. No. I came in a little bit after that episode.
Yeah, because when I first connected with Sean was the first fan of the show that I actually met. Like, I was speaking in Columbus, Ohio, and Sean must have reached out and said, hey, I live in Columbus, Ohio. Let's connect for a cup of coffee. And I went. I was a little bit afraid that I was going to get axed or something. But he was actually a great guy, and we've struck up a friendship. I have not yet met Mar, but I've had many conversations with Mar, and definitely, she's been on the show many times. So, two great. Yeah,
I guess it's also interesting because I did think about this, and while I've spoken to him hundreds of times, I have never hung out in person with Strickland. And
that is amazing.
And I guess, this world that we live in, it doesn't matter where you live. Actually, as you just said that, I just recognized a couple of weeks ago, you guys aired an episode where someone was going to be in Tucson, Arizona. Oh, it was you. You're going to be speaking in Tucson, Arizona, or at the airing of this, you would have.
Right.
And she was going to be your Uber driver or pick you up or drop you off. I'm like, you guys, oh my God, you don't hang out. You're totally on the other part of the country.
No. Anna is in Arizona. Amazing. And we've only had a chance to meet her once, but she's worked with us for, I think, over a year now.
No, she's great. Look, your whole cast and crew. we liken this, and this is probably a wonderful segue, because at the time that this should probably be airing will be about the time you'll probably also broadcast Jackie the Joke Man Martling, I believe, is coming on The Nice Guys.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So it's like getting to know the Howard Stern crew. It's like, like all the regular like freaks and, insane people on the Howard Stern show. It's kind of like the Nice Guys crew. They're all a little wacky. They're all a little weird, but they seem to get the job done.
Yeah. Yeah. We do have a great cast of characters. Those that are really in the know, and again behind the curtain a little bit, and everybody's welcome to be there. All it takes is just a little bit of support through the Patreon network. We really do separate the wheat from the chaff when we say it's $1. It costs you $1 to become a Funkin' fan. But our Slack group, which is one of our more fun communications methods, we have, I don't know, maybe a dozen, maybe 24 people on the Slack group. Some of them are more regular than others. I mean, you I don't know if you were a part of the show when Sunny Lake. Are you familiar with Sunny? Have you ever heard? Have you heard the name?
So what happened, and maybe this is showing a lot of the research, and I'll put it under the area of research because I'm sure my wife would say, "Why are you listening to an older episode of The Nice Guys?" Well, sometimes you guys will refer to an episode number, and I'll be like, "I don't remember that one." The best was this is along those lines. My daughter was sitting down. I think we were playing like a game of family bingo or something like that. We were at one of these things and we're there. And she's like, "What do you mean by, Dad, they said they want to do the H formation." I go to episode 390. You'll go pick it up. You'll be able to listen to it.
Yeah, we haven't played. We haven't continued playing the Funkin' Fan.
Thank God.
Funkin' Fan bingo.
I said this, I think, when I was on the show the last time. I almost wrecked my car. I literally was looking at the freaking bingo card while driving the car. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, at that. I got a line across.
The most amazing thing has been the evolution of the show and how the show just keeps going deeper and deeper and deeper into the trenches. We had so much structure in the beginning. We used to have we had a tech talk moment. I mean, this was probably within the first 50 episodes I have in the show. And we were so flatlined with the amount of people that would listen to the show. We're like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And we have this ridiculous structure to our content. And now we have no structure. We still don't know what the fuck we're doing, but we have no content structure at all, which is
so. Is it all right if I share one of our original conversations when I was starting to bring Thrive Loud? This was way back in May when we met in Dallas, and we were talking.
Absolutely.
I'm
curious.
So we were talking about the show Thrive Loud had just come out. We might have been on episode like 7 or 8 or something like that, And there was a lot of momentum building and trying to figure it out, the right structure. I was like anyone else. You're trying something new, and you always want to get better. That's me. I coach people this. I lead people on this. Always trying to figure out how you make yourself more amazing. And I'm talking to Doug. Why? I don't know, because obviously, he has no idea which direction he's going to. But
it's the direct line between now and between 0 and amazing. If I'm in the way, it's like Doug is so in the way. Doug, if you could just step aside so I can get to amazing, because you are not there.
It actually, and I want to say it was very much from the movie Social Networking type of moment, and what you had said was, we don't exactly know what the show is right now, type of thing. And it was regarding to Thrive Loud. We want to see organically where it goes. And if you remembered in Social Networking, that was actually, I think, the role of Sean Parker that Justin Timberlake played, where he was talking about Facebook. And they didn't know what it was yet, right? They didn't know what Facebook was going to become. We didn't know the direction, what it is. We just knew at that point in time, it was just, a site that the college students were, calling the Facebook, and they were, putting their own profiles up. No one knew exactly what direction it was going into. And that's important in whatever business you're in. There is a structure and a game plan that everyone can try and lay out in a vision. However, you don't understand necessarily the momentum at the time that it's happening. And just looking back, what is only, 3-4 months ago from when you and I met, how many more people have come in? I know now a little bit better about how to be a better interviewer, the types of people that people want to listen to, the way to utilize the promotion, and the way to utilize the promotion to not only grow my business for the stuff that I do and my awareness, but to grow the people that are coming on as their guests. I have CEOs who are like, I need to get on these shows so I could share more about my product. And there's a guest that comes out this week. He's got a startup. It's called Talkers, Tawkers. It's a fun listen. This guy, Blake Ian, has this. It's a business. It's very well funded. And it's almost like famous people interactive chatting, like when you like watch TV and you see them like, shooting tweets back and forth across a private forum. And it's a phenomenal marketing opportunity for for a very unique set. And it's doing really, really well. And the show is a phenomenal way to promote it to not only potential viewers or people to promote awareness of it, but investors and other strategic partners. So people are utilizing Thrive Loud to be able to help market themselves. That is something I never would have thought.
It is amazing to me when I have people that connect with me that want to come on the show because they feel it, and I understand. I mean, we do have the volume of audience to completely help somebody blast their brand out there, but it is still amazing to me that the format is which somebody is going to be attracted to. They're like, you have no idea where you're going to go when you come on our show, and it's almost like they're afraid, but they want to do it. It was kind of like going on any of the radio talk shows, like going on the Stern Show, or there was a guy that was in DC called the Grease Man. It was like if you go on the show, you're taking your brand reputation potentially right down the toilet. And we're hoping that people are still coming on the show thinking, it's worth the risk because they do have a pretty big audience.
And I'll say this, and I was not saying that there isn't a structure that's needed, because I know there are a lot of people that do listen to your show that are thinking about potentially starting their own podcast or getting their message out there. And by the way, you guys are phenomenal at helping to do that with your turnkey business that you promote. And it's important that there is the structure that's needed. There's certain steps that you have to do on to make sure that the business goes where it goes. You can't necessarily always force it in that direction. You kind of have to be authentic and give that message out. Right. And that's why your show, you guys do not change who you are. You're always who you're being. And to the point about me connecting with all the guests on Thrive Loud, and if you listen to that conversation, you're like, he really does know this person. They really have some kind of bond or connection. And sometimes it's just from what we've done on that show. That's what we're trying to do with everybody. And we hope, we always hope that that's what people are taking away from it. And kudos to you guys, because 450, 500, what is it? You guys are going to get to 1 million listeners or 1 million downloads soon enough?
Well, November 1 is our, it looks like that we're going to hit it. It looks, originally it was the end of the year, and then we moved it up to November 24th when we thought we would hit it. And now it looks like it's November 1st is about the date that we're going to hit 1 million downloads. And once we do that, then we can quit. Just that's just like the beginning.
That you just started. That's like game on. Turn it on and take it to the next level. So now it's exciting, and I hope to be a little. My brother had. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say my brother has or had, maybe still has it. I don't know. He had a 1992 Volvo, and right around 350,000 miles. We always used to joke, hey, you're just kind of like breaking it in. It's just, you're just beyond it. Just be at the point where the car is like comfortable. I still get the new car smell, but everything else is really good in the car. I kind of feel like at 1 million downloads, we can at least relax a little bit and say, okay, we've made it to the goal that we have looked at for the last 2.5, 3 years. We've looked at this goal and we're like, oh, geez, we will never get there. And the goal kept advancing. And once we cross that finish line with 1 million downloads, I feel like, okay, now we can really start taking some fun, experimental chances with the show and doing some really if you thought we were out of the box before, we're going to try to really ramp up the out-of-the-box status.
I'm going to give you guys something that I tell all my clients, a lot of sales performers and top companies. They always try and find a number that they're aiming for. Oh, we'd love the business to get to 5 million or 50 million in sales. Screw the number. The number isn't important. It's make it even bigger than you ever could have imagined. Like make it the number one podcast show, even that's a number, the best podcast show of all time, or it becomes a television show. Dear God, we can never look at you guys on TV. Or a nationally syndicated, Sirius XM radio show that they take the podcast from. There's so many other things that'll happen that when you set the number, you can limit yourself. As strange as that is, right? We don't want you to stop at 1 million. Right. We want you to get to 10 million or 20 million or whatever it is. Don't worry about the number. Yeah. Make it just bigger than you can ever do. That's what people want. Huge.
I love that idea. I love that idea. Lou Diamond, not Lou Diamond Phillips, not to be confused with Lou Diamond Phillips, but Lou Diamond from Thrive Loud, Nice Guy Community. I know that you want to take a moment and tune into Lou's show. If you haven't heard us refer to Lou, almost every episode we have some reference to Lou somewhere along the way. Definitely tune into his show. We'll try to figure out, we're still working on figuring out how to put links in show notes. So if we haven't figured it out yet, Lou's show will be in the show notes. We have an excellent production team, so I'm sure that Strickland can figure out how to make that happen.
I think Anna is going to be all over that. She's going to figure out the whole how to hyperlink to Thrive Loud. There we go.
No, just remember your intern is Anna. Our show producer
Anna.
is Anna.
Anna, I apologize, Anna. I don't. Okay, so
well, chances are good. She's a millennial. She hasn't made it 40 minutes into the episode. She quits right around 5 minutes in, and she just kind of fudges the rest of the way through.
I'll leave it on this because I know you got her hot, but I think my intern Anna has listened to more Thrive Loud and more Nice Guys than anyone, having to try and find certain pieces of information. So
nice.
So she's killed it.
Well, there he is, Lou Diamond, Thrive Loud. Make sure we tune into all of the cool stuff that he's got going on in his show. Thanks, Lou, for being a part. One more time. Hey, I need you to send me a really good headshot because I don't want to use the old one of you. I already got that one. People are going to confuse the old episode with the new one. Maybe you have a Funkin' Fan t-shirt or something that you could put. Hey, you haven't seen any of the Nice Guy spinners yet. Have you seen the fidget spinner that we got?
You got a fidget spinner? I am totally in. Send me the fidget spinner. I'll take a picture spinning the fidget spinners on both fingers or something like that, or one finger, maybe on my nose.
Yeah, we have to. We just got, for going out to podcast movement, we're like, we have business cards, but let's have something a little bit better to give away to people that are potentially going to be customers of ours. So Strick ordered. Oh no, he didn't buy. Get this, Lou. He exchanged for advertising space on the Nice Guys, which is going to be partly why we're going out to podcast movement too, to figure out how to monetize this bitch and figure out how to make some money sponsoring without blowing our audience out because of ad nauseum advertising. But anyway, he had these fidget spinners made, so we got 150 we're taking out there. We're going to hold some back so we can send them to loyal folks like you on the
I am
show.
So excited. I can't wait to fidget spin. I did.
Hey, Luke.
Thanks, man.
Pleasure talking to you again. Have a great time at the beach.
Gotcha. Should I take us out of here?
Yeah, do it.
Steve-O, take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Well, that's 20 minutes of my life I'll never get back. Oh, is it still on? You don't need to see their identification. This isn't the podcast you're looking for. Move along, move along.